Abraham Kuyper was Prime Minister of the Netherlands between 1901 and 1905. He was an influential neo-Calvinist, a theologian, and a journalist. Growing up, he was homeschooled, and when he was 10 years old, he became a Christian. He spent a lot of time with his family and with his father. His father was also a minister. And that had a significant impact on his life and may have shaped his philosophy. His father taught him the importance of studying hard and following Christ. In 1862, he earned the title of Doctor in Theology. During his studies, Kuyper converted to Calvinism, which is a branch of Christianity. It strengthened his faith to follow the path that Christ had laid out for him. Not only did he seek a religious career, but also a political one. Kuyper worked hard in order to become a minister and a political leader. He was elected several times and became a member of Parliament. In addition, he became minister for the Dutch Reformed Church in 1892, and that same year he got married. Instead of seeking money and power, he chose to serve God. He argued that all religious schools and institutes should receive equal funds from the government, that they shouldn't play favoritism or separate the church from state by not supporting religious institutes with their money. He pleaded for the separation of church and state, which means that the state should not get involved in church affairs. Now that is very different from today. Right now, the churches can get government funds, but then they also have to agree not to talk about certain things. But Abraham Kuyper argued that the church should be free to talk about whatever they want, and institutes that are religious also should have the same rights. He reasoned that through Jesus Christ, the church should be leading the future of politics. He stood by his arguments, even against lots of scrutiny. As Kuyper grew older, he gained more power and responsibilities. He worked hard to unite the Protestants and the Catholics. They had been fighting and they were hurting each other, but he saw the potential benefits in them uniting and saying, okay, we have difference in opinions, but we can still work together for the greater good of Christ. We can agree on that. Through this genius move, he persuaded different church denominations to put aside their differences and to work together. His main philosophy was to live according to God's glory. Everything he did was to serve his Creator. His engaging mannerism inspired others to follow his example. A lot of people describe his personality traits as strong, dependable, reliable, and just lots of things related to very strong-willed. Because in order to be a member of Parliament and argue for Christ in that time, you had to be tough. Through his knowledge and organizational skills that were given to him by God, he was able to make a change for the greater good of the Dutch religious groups. Eventually, Kuyper became the Prime Minister of the Dutch cabinet. Abraham Kuyper was a devout neo-Calvinist who fought for the religious institutes such as the education systems to receive government funds and to have a voice. Right now, we don't have a lot of Christian schools. Arizona Christian University is really good school, and there should be more like it, and not just colleges, also elementary schools. Parents shouldn't have to pay extra to send their children to get a good Christian education. But right now, that's kind of one of the challenges that we face today. Kuyper really saw that, and he argued for people to have freedom to choose their religion and their schools for their children. Christians today should follow his example and not be afraid to speak up. Abraham Kuyper made a lasting impact that allows religious groups in the Netherlands to have a voice and freedom to engage in politics.